Okay. Okay, I'd like to call the meeting to order. The time is now 3:31. A copy of the agenda for this meeting can be found on the county website under the tab for the legislature. Please silence your cell phones and electronic devices. And at this time, I ask that you please rise for the pledge of allegiance. Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Doreen, would you be kind enough to call the roll?
Absolutely. Emo. Here. Anastakis.
Present.
Fellers.
Here.
Feller.
Here.
Ramos. Hotel.
Here.
Tui.
Here.
Sutherland.
Here.
7 present, 1 absent.
Okay, first up, we have Lacey Trimble, the Commissioner of Social Services and Mental Health. And I think we have Todd Craner with her for the monthly report. How are you?
Well, how are you?
Okay. My DSS report. Okay, go ahead.
So everybody has a copy of the report. Page 2 starts with temporary assistance. It was provided to 1,384 cases in July. Family assistance is up 29 compared to the end of 2023. When compared to July 2024 to July 2023, you'll notice an increase of 18 cases. But if you compare 23 to 24 for the same period, it's a change of 252 cases. Safety net is up 31 from the end of 23. From July of 23 to July of 24, there's an increase of 102. 33 recipients entered employment in July. This is the most in a single month so far this calendar year. It's 1 up compared to July, 4 compared to 2023 for the same period. Yes.
But you hit the safety net. It looks like over the last, at least for the first, that our bars for this month have been above all the other years. Is there some reason this year that it's really a problem? I mean, even the 23 blue dotted line is below the heading of all the other ones.
I think it's similar to the challenges we're having across the board with people being able to, the cost of living changes, that we're seeing people struggling to meet their basic needs. So safety net is changing over time.
And if you see that it starts in, basically really it starts in August of last year. And it's basically the same time that if you look at the hotel motels, for example, those numbers started to go up in the singles because they took longer for the singles to go up there than the families. And, but they started going up at the same time.
These are numbers, not percentage. These are not dollar figures. They're number of people.
Cases.
Their cases,
Yeah.
yes.
I just wonder if that, what you thought about that. Well, that's good.
18,219 cases received SNAP benefit in July of 2024, 92 more cases than June, and 485 more cases than July of last year. So similar trend. You can also see that HEAP was higher compared to June. If you compare January through July of 2023 to January through July of 2024, so far there have been 15,937 less HEAP payments in 2024.
Yes, Legislator Tonto.
Just 2 quick questions. I don't know if it comes under SNAP or a different line of funding, but there is a program where people who receive SNAP benefits are also getting a card for pharmacy over the counter. Is that through the county or is that through the state?
I'm not familiar with that, are you?
I think that's something that's through, basically through the pharmacy.
Yeah, I think that's a separate, there are pharmacy benefits, like companies that do that on the side, but I don't believe any of that is through our department.
Okay, and then when does the HEAP applications open up for this year?
November 1st, I believe.
November 1st, okay. I wasn't sure if it was October or November.
No.
Thank you.
Real quick question, the SNAP benefits. If people get SNAP benefits from the county and from, what's it, our food bank, they get a duplication of SNAP.
You can only get SNAP benefits through social services. They can receive food through a food pantry, but it wouldn't be part of their SNAP benefits.
So I was talking to the new executive of the, what's about food regional. They said they think that it's not.
You can, those are generally donations
Yeah.
that are received and handed out. They usually
Right, they're
don't have.
dealing with all the food pantries and
Mhm.
purchasing the goods for them at that reduced rate so that the food pantries can purchase their goods at a reduced rate.
Right.
They do deal with us with regards to the backpack
Backpack
program. That we do.
Correct, it's not SNAP. Generally, food pantries don't have, they don't check income eligibility. Somebody walks in and says they need food and they can receive food at these pantries. We spoke, she and I spoke recently too.
I'm sure she knows that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
No problem. Page 4 is emergency housing placements, which Todd has touched on briefly with emergency housing. Placements continue to trend higher compared to last year. Current average of 20.2 families and 46.6 singles. Last year's average at year end was 15.6 and 38.8 respectively. We were notified that we're being allocated almost $500,000 for family-centered case management, and we submitted a required plan to the state in order to be able to accept those funds. They came back with a few questions. We have since answered those questions, so we're hoping to hear soon. These funds are really intended to impact what you're going to see on the next page, which is the families who are currently experiencing homelessness and who are residing in hotels and motels. Those numbers have increased significantly over time. Our average right now for the year is 100 families and 99.9 singles per month in hotels and motels. So that's beyond who's in our shelter system. For July, there were 110 families and 125 singles for a total of 235 individuals. The number
235
cases, because the families, we don't count individual numbers. The numbers were significantly lower in July of last year. If you look at the chart, you'll see that it was 68 and 19. 712 individuals experiencing homelessness received services in July. This is one less than in June, but 227 more than July of last year. The monthly average for 2024 is 691, 204 more than last year's average.
Legislator Tierney, you got a question?
Yeah, Lacey, with the hotel motel placements, with those numbers up so much, especially with singles, are you having any trouble even getting hotel rooms, or is there plenty of vacancy?
We are having to expand the number of hotel rooms and contract with additional hotels to get rooms. So we're having to expand what we would normally do.
Expanding off your normal hotels?
Yes, to meet the demand, yes.
because they did have some difficulty
Finding
finding
places.
enough.
You did, so
Mhm.
so
We're still finding enough
by
within
expanding
county.
out, You are finding.
We are. Nobody is being denied a placement if they need a place to stay, but it's become more of a challenge over time.
Very good, thanks. Thank you, Joe.
The next page is Medicaid. In July, there were 20,666 locally managed Medicaid cases. That's 557 less than end of year 2023. Comparing July 23 to July 24, it's a decrease of 1,104 locally managed cases. Those cases equate to 22,693 individual recipients for the month of July, down 582 compared to 2023 end, and down 1,336 compared to July of last year. The managed care numbers are remaining relatively constant.
Okay, Legislator Tontel first.
Thank you. So we're seeing an increase in homelessness, but yet a decrease in Medicaid. I would have thought that they would have been on par.
The Medicaid numbers are decreasing mostly because of the unwind. So people did not have to recertify during COVID, during the public health emergency. Now people do have to recertify. So there are people who are on that list who no longer meet eligibility and who may not have used their benefits during that time during the unwind. They may have had other insurance. Now they don't have the Medicaid on any longer.
And remember, we had over 130,000 people on Medicaid, where our numbers in the other programs are nowhere near that. So it's kind of apples to oranges at this point in time.
Legislator Tierney?
That was.
That was it? Okay.
Yeah. And the next page is the total cases of Medicaid that are the one, including the ones that are not managed locally. We finally have the totals for all of 2023. We were missing the last few months, the last time I was here. We ended with 136,882 cases at the end of 2023. The highest month ended up being June with 146,659. So where we ended is actually the lowest we've seen since July of 2022.
Just one question, on the amount of money spent in nursing homes on the chart, you have, that's the total amount the state has spent on people who get admitted to a nursing home in Orange County, because that's us, right?
For Orange County residents.
Resident.
So we do have people who have Orange County Medicaid who are placed in out-of-county nursing homes as well.
But if people who are placed in our nursing homes that are not Orange County resident, that wouldn't be affected, they go back to their county.
They would be billed back to their county, yes.
Is there any obvious sort of top of the weeds, why that 2022 number was basically pretty high, up 12 million from the previous year? That's a huge jump, right? 88 million to 100 million. Almost a 16-17% jump. Quick numbers. Did,
And I don't know the answer, but we could certainly look into it and see if we
no,
can
just one
find that out.
wasn't COVID, because that was over, but it just seemed to jump. It seemed like a big number. Not that it cared, but just, okay.
Yeah, we can look into it and see if there's anything that, a trend statewide that may have happened. The next page is the age. Numbers for July are lower than last report with a total of 10 arrests in July. But still within the normal range for those numbers. Next page is Child Protective Services. 216 reports of child abuse and neglect were investigated in July. 149 were assigned traditional response, 67 were assigned to FAR. There have been 2,274 reports through July, which is 52 less than the same period last year. Page 10 is foster care. Foster care services were provided out-of-home placements for 211 children in July. The average year-to-date is 208 children per month. From January to July of 2023, there was an average number of children in foster care of 224, so the number is continuing to decrease over time.
And that's attributable to getting them placed.
Some of the children are replaced, some of the children are returned home. There's a lot of preventative services that are put in place to prevent children from coming to care in the first place. And Family First also has helped us to have more children be placed with family members rather than into foster care. The goal is to keep as many children with their biological families as possible.
And to provide those preventive services so they don't have to go in.
And those are voluntary, you know, so.
The preventative
Those
services,
services
yes.
are, you know, so hopefully they, when that does, they do become involved, they take advantage of that.
For APS, the total number of active cases was 253 in July. 56 new individuals were assisted. Average number of cases per month this year is 263.7. So around the same as the average for last year. Home care continues to trend higher with 305 cases in July and a 2024 year-to-date average of 292. The average for the same period last year was 266.
Could you explain that last sentence? You have New York State has been taking over that program. Has been how long? Taking it all over? What does it mean?
I think they are still working out the details on how that's going to look and how it's going to impact us locally. There are some lawsuits around home care going on currently, and I think once those are settled, we might see some more concrete information on what it's going to look like and how it's going to impact
I've seen
us.
some advertisements on television talking about state is bidding for somebody to come in and manage this program. And
And there's an
people are opposing it.
RFP for the fiscal intermediary part of it.
Yeah,
And they would
Government's
like
trying
to,
to find some way to capitate out of that.
yes, and reduce the number of fiscal intermediaries down to one, which there are hundreds of them currently.
And a few years prior to what's on the chart, our numbers were more than double what they were. So they did at one point take a good chunk away, but they left us with the bulk of the more difficult ones, the cases. And now, as like I said, they're not taking out as many new ones as they were.
Yeah, and I think it's similar to the Medicaid. The higher the complexity, the more likely they're locally managed when it comes to the state taking things over.
They're not stupid up there.
Page 11 is child support. child support unit served 9,731 cases in July. And over $3 million was collected and dispersed. The year-to-date total is approximately 24.1 million. This is approximately 988,000 more than the same period last year. So they've been very busy. Special Investigations Unit investigated 185 feds and EVR cases in July with the goal of preventing inappropriate payments. The state calculated the feds cost avoidance for July at 648,000 and the EVR at almost 122,000. The combined year-to-date cost avoidance for Orange County is over 4.2 million. The unit also investigated 60 allegations of fraud in July. 49 were found to be substantiated fraud. 5 of those cases resulted in overpayments of $9,378 and $6,932 was saved as a result of the cases. Our year-to-date savings for those cases is $64,663. Any
Questions or comments? No? I just want to say good luck to Child Protective Services. Unfortunately, with the start of the school year, I know how incredibly busy the workers are. Very busy time for them. So wish everybody the best.
We appreciate that.
In a couple of months. Okay, thank you so much. Okay, next up. Okay, next up, we have Christian Farrell, our Director of Veteran Services. Come on up. We have a request to accept and appropriate funds from the New York State VA aid to localities grant award to the Orange County Veterans Service Agency, $15,000. $25,000 was previously budgeted in 23 for 24. Legislative request number 230.
So moved.
Second.
Tui and Allers, thank you so much. Okay.
Good afternoon. So the state provides all the counties, it's an aid to localities grant, and they have in the past given us $25,000 to the states and cities throughout New York State. We received something, we are receiving $40,000 this year, so it's the difference, $50,000 is the additional $50,000 that the now state is providing us in grant money for aid to localities grant. So that's originally budgeted for $25,000, and you're now receiving $40,000.
Terrific.
And where do you use those? How does it help the localities?
It's what we, I mean, they give all the counties and the cities get a chunk. It's they give out more than $2 million, the state, to veteran service agencies, county or city.
So you use it as see fit?
Yeah, exactly. It could go through our budget. It's revenue.
Great.
Legislator Tortelli, you had a question?
Yes, in the second paragraph, it says this allocation may lapse on September 15th, 2024. Does we get an extension?
Yes, we have an extension provided by the state, yes.
Okay, great, thank you.
Legislator Raymond?
This question on the letter, it's 50% actually reimbursable. What does that mean? This letter that came with. I'm just wondering, does that mean you can spend the 40, but you gotta spend 80 or something?
I will.
Essentially, yes, they put in a claim, they'll send like payrolls that total up to like 100,000.
Oh, yeah, so, okay,
Yeah,
so,
so
yeah, so
80,000 will get 40.
yeah, we get 40 is the maximum, but yeah, they ask for documentation, and we have to provide payroll, all sorts of information that exceeds the,
Well, 50,
Yeah.
we expect to spend 80,000 and get 40 back. And
Right.
We should spend anyway, this is just helping to.
yes,
Okay,
exactly.
I didn't know. Good.
Thank you, Liz.
Huh?
Okay, any other questions? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? So moved. Christian, I was hoping you'd just give us an update on the improvements at the cemetery.
Yeah, so we have, the good news, I would say, it's a report from the Veterans Memorial Cemetery. We're constantly trying to improve its appearance and everything that's going on there, just the overall experience for those who have loved ones buried there, visit the cemetery. Again, it was a lot of the capital projects that you have supported through the years. Some of the more recent things that have been added or improved on are, one is now we have a walkway that leads down to the columbariums. We have 2 columbariums for above ground options if you choose to be cremated. So there are 2 columbariums, each 96 units in each one. We just recently got one approved, again, with your support. But now we have a very nice, if you haven't been there, it was just completed this month, walkway that leads down there had been just grass there, people could get there, but now it's, if you can get down there, it was really, work is really well done. So that's one thing, improvement to the cemetery is the walkway that leads to the columbarium areas. And then another thing that will be unveiling is on the 27th, so Friday, September 27th, we are honoring, it's Orange County Veterans Memorial Day. Is, if you don't know the history behind that, but on September 29th, 1918, it's the deadliest day in the county's history. We lost 40 men on September 29th, 1918 in World War I, primarily to Newburgh and the city of Middletown. So each year we honor them by reading their names on September 29th. This year, we're actually going to have the event on the 27th at the Veterans Cemetery at 10 in the morning. Everyone's welcome to attend. And again, we'll have the normal ceremony. It's gonna be on a Friday, rather than a Sunday, the day that we normally have it on the 29th. For 2 reasons. One, I think it's gonna be better tended on a Friday, but we're also unveiling, the latest memorial or monument at the cemetery, which will be a POW MIA monument. This Friday, September 20th, is National POW MIA Day. So we're kind of tying those 2 things together. This past Sunday, we had a picnic for POW MIA Day. So thank you for supporting it. So on, again, the 27th of September, on Friday, we'll have a ceremony. And again, so the latest and perhaps greatest addition to the cemetery will be this new monument honoring those POWs and MIA. It's 10 a.m. on Friday at the cemetery. And so if you have nothing on your schedule, by all means, come out and support the event. And you can see, the improvements in the cemetery. Again, once again, we'll probably have close to 250 burials again this year. So we're kind of been at that, unfortunately, that number is a high number of veterans burials and spouses of veterans burials in 2024.
What time is it on the 27th?
10 a.m. in the morning, yeah. We'll read the names, county executive will speak, we have a guest speaker coming in, and then we'll do that. We do that in the main area and the monument area, entrance area, and then we'll actually go back because the POW MIA monument will be in the rear. There's a pavilion in the rear, and that's where we'll unveil the new monument. Last year, a year ago, we unveiled we have a monument there. If you haven't been there, it's very impressive. I think it's like the really the cornerstone of the cemetery now. It's where we have the 40 names etched in bronze that we lost. And we'll have some World War I reenactors and doughboys who will be there for this ceremony as well.
Well, it helps.
No, we do. We have, I think we're covered with that. It's either going to be the Middletown High School JROTC. We're waiting for confirmation that they can get the day off school or at least time to come over. If not, I think it's either going to be the sheriff's deputies or, I think we're covered, Though. Thank you.
Everything looks great over there. Thank
Thank
you
you.
always
Thank you.
for your continued hard work over there. Anybody have any questions? No? Okay. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you for the support. Appreciate that. Thank you.
I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Take care, Chris.